Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
Easy one. Who said I love you first? So when the moment where it was officially official for you, Sebastian.
And I actually got in a really bad car accident with the curb. So I sent you like 6 text messages. Each of them were like this long.
Like what was after basically confirming, like, yeah, I feel the same. What did you do afterwards? Welcome to International Love Story, the podcast about intercultural relationships. My name is Christina, and in today's podcast episode, I would like to welcome Miyu and Sebastian. So Miyu is originally from Japan. Hi, guys. And Sebastian is from the US, and you guys are living in the US. I've just learned that Miyu recently got her work permit, so congratulations.
Me
And
too.
yeah, with this being said, go ahead, introduce yourself. Who are you? What are you doing? Tell us all about you.
Well, as you said, I'm Sebastian. This is Miyu. Yeah, I just recently got married just last year, before my final semester of undergrad started. So that's pretty brand new. And we've been on and off with long distance relationships prior to that. So just kind of going back and forth between the U.S. and here. When did you first come to the U.S. before I met you? Because she was here before I met her.
It was
To school.
it was January 2021. I went to school in New York, and he when we first met, he was from New York, and we met there at the same college I was attending, and we met online class. So first we met on Discord. I don't know if you know this app. We just on the platform, and then we do this kind of Zoom meeting thing on Discord. It was just like
Every class discussion, we had to discuss business and sports and just like social ideas. It was a sociology class. And so they had these discussion weeks, and we were put together in the same group at one point.
everyone's video was off, and then only we were speaking with microphone on. So we were just talking without knowing their faces. So and one question that we had was where do you want to go after COVID? And he said it's Japan, because we had a lot of Japanese students in that school. So he said Japan, and I asked him is it because do you like anime or stuff and something like that? And he said it's Studio Ghibli. And Studio Ghibli is I don't know, some people know it. It's just a really beautiful illustration. And it's so beautiful part of anime, different kind of anime. So I was like, he likes Studio Ghibli. It was it was high point for me. I was like, yes, you like Studio Ghibli. And then, yeah, and then our professor decided to have an event of going on a hike. And few days before, the weather.
Yeah, the weather forecast was really bad for the day that we were all planning to go on a hike.
Yeah, thunder.
Yeah.
And 100% of rain.
But I did not want to miss it, of course, because it was going to be my first time actually meeting her in person, since it was an online class, and it was the summer class. So it's like, I'm not going to get to meet her or anyone else in the class if we don't do this. So I offered to drive and just said, we'll bring anyone who's willing to go hiking. It'll be an adventure, even though it's raining. So yeah, we ended up doing that. And it ended up just being myself, you,
my friend,
and one friend. So it's just 3 people that ended up going on this hike from a whole group of students. So
yeah. I didn't want to go by myself because I've never seen him through the screen either. Because we always turn off our screen for the class. And, it's just strangers. So I didn't want to go with him.
You be smart.
Yeah, so I had to bring my friend to go on a hike.
Yep.
It was fun. It was literally sunny all day. There's no rain or thunder.
Yeah, it was pretty good. The day ended up being definitely worthwhile. Then after that, we found other times to start hanging out. We went to an amusement park a couple of times. We went to the mall for a day, came and hung out with my friends a little bit, and we started just spending time together. So yeah.
Yep.
Oh, what's the first time, like seeing each other for the first time? How was it, if you think back, emotion-wise, having a face to the voice?
What was it like?
I was just worried. I'm
You're
6'6". I am 5'6".
In Japan, that's pretty tall.
I don't know if he was thinking, but thinking there would be under 69. And so like I was a little bit worried that I would be too tall. I'm not that too tall like here, but like I was just worried that I'm too tall.
You've never seen me, right?
Yeah, so I was like, I hope he's taller than me a little bit. I mean, maybe I would like him even if he's shorter than me. Anyway, I was just worried. And also I get my hands get super sweaty, like when I'm super nervous and stuff. So I was like literally waiting for him to pick us up at the college because I lived in college and he lived in his family.
I was commuting because it was.
Yeah. So we were waiting for him to pick us up. So I was waiting in that room and I was washing my hands like every minute because I was so nervous and super sweaty hands.
There was already just already an attraction there somehow. I remember my feeling while meeting her was related to when I first met her on the Discord class, because she had a profile picture that was actually her, just out somewhere in Japan, a friend had taken it, right? And when I first saw that, I had never thought this before, but I saw her picture and I was like, oh, she's cute. And that's not something I did or thought when I saw, profiles of someone I was talking to. So when I did finally, get out of my car and go out to meet her and her friend in person, that's this first thing that came to my mind was like, yeah, she is cute. I was really glad to meet her and very nervous, but trying not to show that I was nervous. So yeah.
Afterwards, you hang out a couple of times, just the two of you, right? Or did I misunderstand? Or was it always like in a setting with friends as well?
Like we went to amusement park with his family. Their family invited me too. And my friend, but my friend suspiciously disappeared. What? Wow. Only I was there with them. But like their family was doing it like with their family. And then Sebastian and I like were going around by ourselves.
Yep.
And yeah, we were always like hanging out. We went to mall just together. Yep. That's the first time I got pierced at the mall with him. I was like,
Did you ask me? You asked me.
Can we go get my ear? Like, I just want that either way, but I was just good chance. Like, oh, we can go hang out. There's a reason.
Yeah.
So you found ways to spend time together, spend some alone time. It's interesting because as far as I understand at that time, you weren't officially dating. I know dating in the US is just a little bit different to, for example, in Europe. And I guess it's super different to Japan as well. So when the moment where it was official for you, Sebastian, and for you, Miyu, was it the same moment or were there different timelines in when you thought, okay, that's my boyfriend, that's my girlfriend, we are officially in a relationship?
Actually, we didn't have a dating period. We were just we still call it hangouts.
Yeah.
Because we didn't really do let's do
go on
dating.
Yeah.
Just we didn't have expectation to be girlfriend, boyfriend. We were just hanging out, having fun, just two of us having fun. But we kind of knew we both had feelings to each other. And then one time after hanging out hanging out at amusement park with his family, and he dropped me off. Okay, I think he's good at this.
Oh yeah,
you can.
So we went to the amusement park for a second time, and it was my family right there at that time? Yeah. But I ended up taking her home just by herself. And you gave me some gifts and some gifts for my band, just to be nice and I just thank you for hanging out. And of course, I was very excited to receive a gift from her. And so I took her up to her dorm, just dropped her off in front of her dorm building. and then started to drive away. And I actually got in a really bad car accident with the curb, with the curb, and really damaged one of the tires. In that accident, I was okay. No one else was hurt, but the car was really, really damaged.
It was the explosion sound was.
Yeah. She heard it. She came down to check on me. And long story short, that car was very expensive to repair. It was a very high curb that I had clipped while trying to turn out of there in the dark. Anyway, so car was damaged and I got sick shortly after that. So I wasn't going to see her. We were out of
Whole family got caught.
Yeah, my whole family actually got COVID-19 just a few days after I got in that crash after dropping her off. So I was just really bummed because I was like, I'm not going to see her. I don't know when I'm going to be able to drive up there again. This is terrible. So I was really upset and thought, this is ridiculous. I need to talk to her again because very clearly there was something between us, but we hadn't talked about it. So I talked to my parents because, like, dude, I don't know. And they're like, you should contact her and just explain everything and then say, if you want to talk about it, I'm not sick and I can come up to see you. We can do that. So I sent you like 6 text messages. Each of them were like this long, like basically in little mini essays explaining how I felt and why I wanted to talk in person and why I felt like I should do it now, even though I was sick. And after that, I was like, I just put down my phone and I went on a walk. went on a walk to clear my head.
Because I didn't reply to it. Taking nap.
He was napping.
Yeah, so he was freaking out, and his mom suggested him to go on a walk.
Yeah.
I wasn't responding because literally I was like knocked out.
I was hoping you didn't read it yet and that I was, you weren't ignoring me. So.
And I woke up, I read the text, I started crying and running around my room after waking up. Yep.
You were so excited.
Yeah, I was.
So you were saying because you felt the same and you were just like, it was positive excitement. You weren't overwhelmed or anything. You felt the same. Okay.
I was happy.
Yeah, it was fun. And I think pretty much right after that, like we called later that day. We called each other.
You FaceTime.
Yeah. And we decided that we wanted to just be officially like girlfriend and boyfriend from that point onwards. And so we kind of just skipped like the dating period, all of those hangouts. That was our dating period. And then as soon as I was better and get transportation up there, I came and saw you again. So, yeah.
This is how it all started. This is how you became official.
Yeah.
So going back a little bit, Miyu, when you woke up from your nap and you read the essays, Sebastian texted you, like, what was your first thought after reading all the messages?
I was relieved, of course, because I had the same feeling for him too. But I was worried about my language, like Valia, very. I wasn't sure if it's gonna work out because my English wasn't that perfect at the time. So I was like, okay, I have same feeling. I was texting him back, of course, and then I was like, it was just language failure, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Like I'm just worried about like.
You're like, I would love to, but is this going to be our issue?
Yeah, I was just worried. So I just texted him back. He was just like, it hasn't matter.
No, I don't care at all. It's fine.
It'll work out. It was just, I was just relieved. I was also happy. I went to the bathroom crying, I think, for the first time. I was running, crying. I went to the bathroom.
That was in which year? So which year we're talking about?
2021. Summer of 2021.
So that was summer 2021.
To have a boyfriend, of course. Like, I came here to study. I came here January of 2021. And it was, during COVID. So, like, almost like no student or was on campus. But, like, even there's some, I was always, like, walking, looking on the floor. I was just working like this. I was just, like, I didn't want anyone, like, I was literally, like, focused on school. But, like, I don't know, he just came to my life.
You folded immediately.
With just Mike, with your boys. Like, Okay.
Here we are. I was just wondering, how was it? Did you communicate it immediately towards your family as well, Mishu? Because I feel like Sebastian, he was involving his family when, like, before texting you actually, like, hey, what am I going to do now? How, like, what was after basically confirming, like, yeah, I feel the same. What did you do afterwards? Did you tell your mom or?
Yeah, I did. I did tell, I think, all my family, just my parents, and I have one brother. So I have a, group chat. So I just texted them, I have a boyfriend. Usually dads be like, no, I'm not gonna give my daughter to another boy or something. But my dad is the completely opposite of that. And he was like, oh, you finally got boyfriend. They were just so happy. They were happy for me and for us.
So culture-wise, it was totally fine that you're dating someone in the US. So they supported you in everything. That's amazing. That's amazing. What happened afterwards?
There's so many things.
I mean,
We dated, and after summer of 2022, actually I didn't take class it wasn't mandatory, so I didn't take class. I had to leave the dorm for the summer, but I didn't have enough money to go back to Japan either. So I stayed at his grandma's house. It was really close. And yeah, we literally hang out like so often during summer because we couldn't really do it because they got COVID and stuff in that 2021. So we hung out and we got engaged in April of 2023. We were already talking about it because my school was going to be done in May of 2023. So we had to, do the visa work and stuff afterwards because my student visa would be expired soon after I graduate. And yes, we knew like around graduation time, we had to get engaged and then start working on the K1 visa, this like fiance visa thing to get married. So we were talking about it. We went to like this place called Highland Park. It's beautiful cherry blossom, like a lot of cherry blossoms park. And yeah, we went there. I think you can explain better.
So yeah, we basically what happened was we both stayed in the same school, like she said, and or like she said, towards graduation, since she was gonna have to leave, we wanted to get engaged, and so I had been sort of preparing for that behind the scenes. It was slightly earlier than either of us actually wanted to. We kind of wanted to wait till that fall, so 2023 then, yeah, fall of 2023, yeah, 2020.
Because I had to leave 2 months after.
Oh yeah, right. You graduated, yeah. So 2024. So basically, no, you followed 2023, and then you were graduating in 2024.
No, I graduated in
So-
2023.
2023.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Okay. I got a little lost in the dates there, but basically, she was graduating, and so I had prepared and gotten a ring, already. So I received an heirloom diamond from one of my grandmothers, and I got a set in a band. We had talked about like the type of engagement band that she would really like. She's very specific about which one. So I found one that kind of fit that and got the diamond placed there. So I had this ring and I was saving it for, I don't know, little under a month. I had been holding on to it. And this is before she graduated. So this was you were going to graduate in May.
I just said.
Yeah. And so I was going to do this maybe sometime in April, but I wasn't sure. So, we had this joke going on between us that if she ever made me lemon bars, like the dessert, lemon bars, that I would marry her. Like that was the thing we had joked about. And one day I came home. Was I working that day?
I think it was a weekend. I always stayed at his house for the weekend instead of my dorm.
Yeah.
So that we could go to church together.
Yeah. And so, so I came, whatever I was doing, I came home and it's like waiting for me. And I was like, oh no, I have to do this now. So thankfully I already had the ring. And basically I texted my friends and I said, hey, I've had the ring. I want to propose to her, and I've had these ideas, but I want to do it like really soon, like in the next few days, because we just did this and keep up with the tradition and to, get that part of our life moving. I want to do it. And so a few of them were like, yeah, we can come take pictures for that. And so I think 2 days later, I tricked her. She was at class and she had work. Then work after class. And she thought that I would study in the library. That's what I always did. I just would be in a library while she was working. But while she was at work, I left school. I went to the park. I got all my friends set up there with cameras, and they were wearing inconspicuous clothing and taking pictures of flowers and just kind of, gathering around. And then I rushed back to school and pretended that I had been there the whole time. But hey, want to go on a date to Highland Park? Which was sort of the plan for the day. So we did. We went there and then got over to where we were supposed to take the pictures. I made her turn around so that I could take a picture of her facing the tree, which is when she finally started to get suspicious.
Hi, my secret now. Oh, he's proposing.
She finally was like, wait a minute. And then she turned around and I was on my knees with the ring, and my friends were closing in with their cameras. So, yeah.
Oh, this is so beautiful and so thoughtful. I love that. I love the lemon bar story. What a beautiful story. I mean, that's something obviously we'll never forget.
No.
That's just so perfect. Well done. Because I did not get a proposal, so maybe I need to talk to my husband. So for us, it was more like, should we get married? Okay, let's just get married. So not a real proposal there, but that's so beautiful, very thoughtful. May I ask, how old were you guys when you got married?
Oh, when we got married? Well,
23
yeah.
in 2022.
2020.
I mean, 23 and 20.
Yes. Yeah. But yeah, I'm 22 now. So, yeah.
And how was obviously you had everyone kind of being part of your engagement moment.
Yeah.
And I feel like in general, friends, family, they're all super, super supportive, right? So there's no one that came into was wondering like, how is it going to work? Because I know that you guys also dated on long distance in between for just a couple of months, right? But for them, it was clear, okay, they love each other. They want to make it work. So they'll make it work and we'll support them in anything they need. Or what was your experience with that?
Anything about that? Yeah. They were my family was very supportive. They knew it was, they knew like for the engagement that we did it pretty early on. We already had been dating and felt like we knew each other really well and we wanted to do it, but they knew that we had got engaged pretty early on because we wanted to get a visa started. And then, when we were planning getting married, our fiance visa in the United States was approved earlier than we expected it to be, which threw a wrench in some plans, although for the most part, it's been working out. And so my family, even though my family was concerned because they were like, oh, that could be difficult, trying to rush this all together. But they were
pretty quick.
Go ahead. What was that?
Isn't it like that? So in the US, if it's getting approved, you have 90 days to get married? Or you have what timeline?
It's kind of confusing. There are different sections. She's going to look that up, but yeah, there's a time limit, for sure.
Yeah. Once you enter the US, you have 90 days to get married. I don't really remember before that.
But they're not limited. You have to, the visa will expire, so you have to get to the US and then you have that 90-day period. Getting to the US can take longer than that, but it doesn't. It was still, we had to make sure it happened, and this past summer was turning out to be the best time for that, rather than the fall or winter.
We could wait, of course. We could wait for another half a year, maybe.
Yeah.
I think that's the time my visa will be expired. But our dating anniversary was in August, so we wanted to. It was good timing that it doesn't expire during our dating anniversary. It doesn't expire. The visa wouldn't be expired. And even if I go there now, it wouldn't be expired. Like, 90 days wouldn't hit that day. So we were like, okay, let's get married on our dating anniversary.
Right. So August 26th is the day that marks when we first started dating and when we got married, just in different years. But yeah, but again, my family and her family were, even if there were concerns about how rapidly it was happening, they were supportive and wanted to help us when they could.
Were they able to join your wedding celebration as well? Both?
Actually, we haven't done a wedding yet, just because, we had to rush and we didn't really want to be like, let's do, like, we didn't want to do effortless, you'd say?
Yeah, we didn't want to like just make a whole thing out of it and kind of put that weight on us. 'Cause I was going back to my final year of undergrad again. And so there was just a lot happening during that time. And since we weren't expecting to do it this year, we did like we took some wedding photos.
Yep.
And we, had like little private, so we signed the marriage license and got rings and did that with my family primarily. And you did what did you call it?
First meet, like you see the dress, bride in dress.
While you were in Japan with your family.
Right, with my family, because I didn't know like what we were gonna do, the wedding and stuff. And I still don't know. We still don't know when that's gonna happen. I just wanted them to see it in person too, instead of like just, get married in the States and then just have a picture and then send them. Instead of just sending the pictures, I just want them to see it in person. So I just had the event. I just hosted this like secret, like, surprise event with my wedding dress on for my family and my best friends. I just did the first meet. My, bridesmaids, my friends helped me a lot to, plan this out and stuff. So they already saw my dress, but it was mainly first meet for my family. And, I did all this stuff, but like I told them like not to post online or send it to anyone, because there could be a chance for Sebastian to see it before I show him in person.
Right. So she waited till the day technically right before we got officially married, but like she waited till she came back to the United States to show me her dress, and we did that in person. So we did kind of that first look where she would tap me on the shoulder and I would turn around and see it. That was really special. So we have had some of the things that would go along with a wedding. We just didn't have an official wedding ceremony yet.
But you were able in a way to involve both sides with the first look and then the wedding in the US. I guess your family, Sebastian, was able to join that.
Yes.
As well to welcome you as Mr. and Mrs.
Yes, they did. They definitely did. And her family has not met my family. They've communicated, and we have met each other's families in person. Right. So
before the wedding.
Yes.
How was that going to Japan? I know that you and was it in 2023 you went to Japan first, right?
Yeah.
How was it for you meeting her family?
It was really, really cool. It was funny when I was so excited, a long plane ride, very talkative with passengers around me because it was just, a lot to take in. But I remember when I arrived, I actually saw her dad before I saw her.
Yeah, I was waving.
Yeah, but he was waving harder. Yeah. And I was scanning, the airport for them, and they had the sign and flowers for me.
I didn't have signs.
Didn't your dad have it? Somebody had it. Oh, they were signaling me down.
Sign were you looking at?
But usually, I thought I remembered that, but the point was that it was like, for me, it was like meeting celebrities, because I had I had met her mom and dad online and on phone calls and seen videos and pictures, but this was the first time to actually like meet them. So I was really excited to see her, and I hugged Miyu. but it was just a lot all at once because it was these people that I knew but was actually meeting for the first time. So really, really cool. And then the trip itself was just wonderful. Her family took me all over Japan, showed me many things. It was just a really, really welcoming experience.
Talking about exploring a different country, getting to know her family a little bit better, and finally seeing them in person. Culture-wise, are there any big differences between you guys that you had to adjust to in the beginning?
Yeah, I mean,
Sitting on the floor.
oh yeah, sitting on the floor to eat is so difficult. In the United States, I feel like eating and comfort go together like hugely, and it is comfortable. In Japan, people are used to it. It's very comfortable, but for me, it's just sitting on the ground, which can be fun after you get used to it, was not comfortable, and it's very difficult to enjoy. Like it's a lot to focus on. Like I gotta sit up straight and try to be fit next to the table and take my food. So that was something difficult. I mean, what else? Like just I didn't really have an issue with this while I was there, but like generally, like strangers don't talk to each other that much. In Japan, here in the US, people just talk to each other all the time, compliment someone's shirt, compliment someone's hair. It's just something people do. I already knew that going into it, but it was definitely different. It's definitely, you just pass people, and that's just how it is. It's all right. So, yeah.
But you were able to communicate with her family, so they understand or they speak English as well.
No, she did all of that.
I translated everything. When I was when I was showering or when I was going somewhere, like they use the phone to just translate like each language. Like you speak into mic and then it'll translate it into Japanese, and then my family speaks in Japanese and it'll translate it into English, and then they were like having fun conversation with the phone.
And that's how I text her family as well. We have a little chat bot that if I send a message in English, it turns it into Japanese and vice versa. So,
and it works very well. So no misunderstandings there.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah.
And that's amazing. I love technology when it comes to this. It's just like it's making things so much easier, especially like when you want to express yourself. I mean, eventually, I don't know, is your plan, Sebastian, to learn Japanese someday, or are you learning already? What's the with that?
I wanted to learn Japanese. Yeah. It was kind of it was the main language I was interested in as a kid. I don't remember all the reasons why. I thought it looked nice. It sounded nice. The culture was interesting to me, but now I've just finally started getting back into learning. Right now, it's just through Duolingo, and obviously a lot of additional help from Miyu. She made me like a workbook and flashcards in the past to help with that. So I'm learning very slowly, and I do want to be fluent in it at some point in my life. So, yeah.
Now he's on over 50 days.
Yes, over 50 days on Duolingo.
Amazing. Yeah, I mean, this is how you start. This is how you start, and eventually you'll get. I mean, my husband, for example, in German, so even though he's fluent in German, he's still doing Duolingo, and he's at 1,000. Mm-hmm. I'm with my Spanish at 950, but also we're dating since 8 years already, and I recently, like 2 years ago, I started learning Spanish, and I'm just like, I wish I would have learned it earlier because I would be fluent already. And here in Buenos Aires, I am having actually a hard time because I feel like I'm 33 now, but I feel like as older I'm getting, as more difficult it is to learn something new. And it's unfortunately true. And I'm just like, I wish I would have started back then while we were dating, while I was living in the US. It would be so much easier. And also like being able to communicate in another language. I mean, that's just amazing. Nothing against English. I mean, I feel like that's for me at least the language where I'll be able to express myself the best, even better than in German. I know my English is not perfect, but anyway. But Spanish is just like, it's so emotional. It's such an emotional language that it's just adding another layer to my personality. And it's very interesting what languages, like what effect they have on you. So yeah, that's very interesting. Good for you. I mean, I hope someday we'll sit down and you will brag with your Japanese skills.
That'd be really cool.
That would be very nice, yes. So talking about like you, Sebastian, learning a little bit of Japanese right now, being on your 50-day strike in Duolingo. Congratulations again. And you, Miyu, you just got the work permit as you've shared with me before we hit the record button. What's your current status? So where are you at as individuals, but also as a couple?
I'm done studying. Of course, I graduated. I got only SJ in tourism and hospitality management. I hope I can pass through with that degree.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I just want to do something that I like. I like crafting, but I also like customer service. I want to do something about it, but like we're moving soon after he graduated school. We're going to move somewhere. We haven't decided. We're going to move somewhere for his master's. So I can't really like totally start a job yet. So I don't know, kind of lost, but like I'm just enjoying having fun every day. Making, I like making food. I like baking. I like crafting. I've been doing crochet, like making beanies and decorations and all the stuff. I'm just enjoying time alone while he's in class. And yeah, hopefully I can get a job soon.
Yeah, it's kind of an in-between period for both of us. I know for me, final semester, senior year of my bachelor's degree, but I plan to become a professor and teach in an undergraduate setting someday. So I have to pursue a master's degree and then a PhD down the line. So our next living space will most likely be another in between that is somewhere near a master's program that I hopefully attend, but we just don't know. All those details are still up in the air. So we're, like I said, it's just a waiting period and figuring things out at the moment. So it's exciting. It's an adventure, but it's nothing set in stone.
How is it for you? I mean, as I understand, obviously you have an idea on how the next few months or years might look like. What do they look like? If everything goes according to plan, or are you really taking it day by day and you just see what's going to be next?
I mean, if they were to go exactly how I'd want them to go, we would move into like a married housing situation at probably a seminary that I would go to. My degree has to do with like theological and philosophical discussions because I'd like to teach that someday. So a married housing situation in that kind of seminary or master's program. We would live there for 2 years, as long as it took to finish that degree. I would either work in that campus or peripheral to that campus. And then after that, we would move to a permanent apartment or home. And I would attempt to pursue a PhD online because a lot of PhD programs are primarily self-led. And then you would do like a residency. So I might be able to travel for a residency in those kind of programs. If it were to go exactly to plan, that's what it would look like over the next 6 or so years total. And
yeah, I'm gonna try to get a job and, we try to save. I do budgeting all the time. Like I'm the financial person. I do budget for both of us. We save a lot of money. We want to have baby too. Like, not too soon, but we just...
In that period, though, in that
years too. So, yeah, just trying to save money. And he's going to pursue what he's doing and grow our family next 6 years around there.
So, yeah, 6 years just feels like a more realistic time frame for all those things, for jobs and finalizing schooling or getting towards the end of that, and then also growing a family. So, yeah.
An exciting goal, definitely. So there's one question I hope it's okay if I ask it, because it's just like this, at least how I felt. And I've mentioned that also before hitting the record button. You were waiting for your work permit for a couple of months. In the end, it went faster than expected. And you've also mentioned that you're enjoying your time. You've mentioned that you're the financial head of your family in the relationship. Like, how did you do it, building a routine while living in a country that's not your home country? I'm very curious because I personally had a lot of struggles, and I know a lot of other expats did have them too, especially while waiting for a piece of paper that allows you to work. How did you do that?
I just, told myself that you gotta do it. Otherwise, no one's gonna do it for you. And I was so stressed out too. We had arguments because he's more like slower person and more like, distracted to many things. He has a lot of boxes in his mind. I was like, when I decide to do it, I'll just do it. It's just my personality. I was so stressed about, getting all the paperwork for the visa to get married. And of course, the documents like, paperwork for the green card, the permanent residence, and as well as the work permission that I just got. It was like, it's really stressful, but just, told myself that I got to do it. You got to do it. You just got to do it. You make it perfect. And I just like, I didn't have school or job, so I just like, that's the only thing I could do it. I had chores, but, I still have time. I had to make time for myself to work on those paperworks. So, yeah.
To me, it seems like you found a good balance between taking care of the paperwork while not trying to freak out and taking care of yourself as well and giving yourself the space, to take it one step at a time while socializing, pursuing your hobbies, anything that doesn't have to do with paperwork.
Yeah. Yes.
That's very impressive because again, I'm talking to a lot of couples and individuals that also got married obviously you got married because of love, so don't misunderstand me, but one of the reasons oftentimes is that you can live together, which I think is very sad in a way, that you have to go through a very stressful phase of your life. And in our case, when Nacha and I got married, we were both also very young and we just got to know each other. So I wouldn't say like I knew the person how I know the person 10 years later. And when I think back, for me, it was the most stressful phase so far in our relationship. And it did have such a big impact. And Nacha always had to make sure that I'm okay. He tried to calm me down because I was freaking out regularly, and that's just having such a big impact on the relationship as well, in a way that it caused a lot of conflicts between us and we were still getting to know each other. So I was just wondering how your experience was, but as far as I understand, you managed that pretty well. So leading to my next question, how did you communicate when you, for example, Miyu, when you felt like, okay, that's just getting like, I'm overwhelmed, that's just getting too much. How did you get into the communication in a way that you solved the issue together and that you supported each other without, heating up the conversation and getting into a fight?
First, he had to sense too, because I'm not really a verbal person. I don't really like tell how I'm feeling, how I'm going through, like how much I'm upset or stressed. So he kind of had to sense too, like, oh, she's upset, she's stressed. And I don't know, we were really good at communicating, especially when we were in long distance about paperwork. He was just there. He was, he helped. He helped printing out stuff. He was scratching my back. He had affirmation words too when I was stressed because I wanted to do the paperwork so that I don't miss anything. Because, once if our paperwork got denied, we could only apply after 2 years. We had to wait another 2 years to reapply. So we didn't want to go through that. So we just wanted to make sure that everything's like perfect. So I was stressed and I had to do it. It's my weak point too. I couldn't let him do the whole thing. I just wanted to do it. And of course he proofread for me and we did everything. He just were there for me whenever I needed abs or anything. He just had to sense that I was upset. I told him too, I think. Just I was stressed.
Yeah.
But yeah, we managed to do it. I don't know. Did I communicate well?
Yes. I think when we were like apart working on it, our communication wasn't great. That was a lot of the times my fault. I just got busy with school and I stopped, keeping up with it. But since being together and trying to figure out that balance and doing things, doing these next steps of work and green card and all of that. You've communicated what you need and what we need to do and just all of that pretty well. So yeah.
Yeah. Like as long as we're in person, I always do the financial and like all the plans too. Like making lists of what we need to do by due date and stuff. So like whenever we're in person, it's a little like way easier, right? Easier, like we have to do this by this date, and stuff. But when we were apart, it was like a little too really difficult because, it's like 13 to 14 hours difference between Japan and where he was in the States. And it was just like, we were able to make times for each other. We had this like sharing calendar share off.
Yeah.
Sharing calendar.
Yeah. Like sharing our calendar.
Yeah, we had like, one calendar and we put both of our plans and all those times showed on the screen. They'd be like if I open that on that time, it would be like on my time zone. And then when he opens up on his screen, it would say like on his time zone. So like we didn't even have to calculate like what time and stuff. It was like real apps. Yeah. I don't know if I can mention it. If you can mention in the video, it's called Time Tree. That app is like really good. Like we made time so that we can figure it out. We just open it. Okay, around this time before he sleep, we can have time. We can have time to FaceTime. We can have time to do anything. So that's how we figured like times between us. We made time to, discuss anything we needed to. Yeah.
For how long did you date on distance? So for how long did you have to do that shared calendar and figuring it out on distance?
The shared calendar was after I graduated and I left because, my student visa was expired and we just submitted K1 visa when I was still in the States. And soon after I had to leave because, my student visa expired. It was expiring. So it was summer of 2023. It was summer of 2023 till we still use it till this day. We still use it because I cannot remember like what time his classes doing and stuff.
Right.
So I have him put the schedule on the calendar and stuff. We use it since summer of 2023
until this past summer because that's when we came back. So for a year we used it.
Yeah.
In long distance.
But you were able to visit in between, Sebastian, right? Okay,
yes.
So it wasn't 1 year of not seeing each other in person. You were able to go to Japan and meet her family there. So that's the one time you went to Japan as well, right?
Yeah, it was only like 7 or 8 months without seeing each other.
Yeah.
That's a long period of time. That's wow. Yeah, going from being together almost every day, or being together every day to 7 months of not seeing each other, only via FaceTime and having a shared calendar, trying to navigate time difference and all of this. I know how much that sucks. I've been there, done that. It's not nice.
No.
But here you are. Thank you so much for your time today. I really love talking to you. So one last question I'm always asking, or almost always, into the end of a recording is, if you think back all the experience you've made, the way you grew together, what's your biggest advice to anyone who's listening or watching right now?
Definitely make time for each other, especially when you're in long distance and have time difference between them. Like, Japan, in our case, Japan and United States. It's like, it's hard to make time for each other because, we were busy just living by ourselves and then not knowing what time it is in the other person's time zone. So like make time and communicate. Of course, all the couples say communication is the key, but it really is. It's hard. Some people really super bad at communicating to the other person, like updating. He still isn't really like super good at communicating, like keeping me update, but he's still working on it. And yeah, he does a good job too, of course. He's working on it.
Yeah, my roommate last year, right, was living at college without her. He was very helpful with that because we could be doing anything else. We could be eating out or playing a game or whatever, just hanging out. And he would always say, it makes, take time with me. You don't have to do what we're doing right now. If you need to make time, that's the most important thing. And so, yeah, just making sure that you're cutting out space in your day for your person, even if they're all the way on the other side of the planet. So, yeah.
Never busy. Never be busy. You are like actually never busy for the other person.
Right.
You gotta make time. You can make time. Otherwise, you would just be lazy. I would say.
Yeah, it's true. That's also the reason why we have one day a week where we have a date day.
That's good.
So make time to put the phone aside and to just be like, okay, how was your week? Because even though in our case we're living together, we're both working in home office, like you'd like to think that we're spending a lot of time, but we're just so busy with our individual lives, because he has his friends, I have my friends, that we decided, okay, we need one time a week where it's just about us, and where we sit down, where we talk, where we, I don't know, whatever it is, just spend quality time together and really just focus on each other. So yeah, I can definitely underline this. So thank you so much again for taking your time today and for being so open-minded, for sharing your love story. I really enjoyed the conversation today, and yeah, obviously I wish you all the best for your future. By the way, don't hang up yet because we're still doing the speed question thing. I forgot to mention that in the beginning. So even though if I say my goodbyes now, please don't hang up. Because there's a second part. So yeah, thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Easy one. Who said I love you first?
Me.
What's the biggest cultural difference in your relationship?
How much we talk?
I don't really talk.
Yeah, I talk a lot.
So you're communicating, or you're talking more, Sebastian and Yumi. You like to listen.
It's not always useful communication. It's just talking.
Just talking. Who likes spicy food more?
Maybe you.
Maybe me.
Yeah. I used to love spicy food, but like I can't do it anymore. Like whenever I have like one bite, like my whole mouth like got burned. I can't.
I guess me.
What's the funniest cultural misunderstanding you had in your relationship so far?
Yeah.
The one with your dad, where I didn't know that. It's kind of a weird one.
Wait, which one?
Where I made him sit down and he fell in. Do you remember that? I got a really weird one. It's a funny one. Might be TMI. Is it good? In Japan, a lot of men sit down to go to the bathroom no matter what. I didn't know that. So I left the seat up in their bathroom, and her dad came out and said, "Who left the seat up? I fell into the toilet."
You almost.
Oh, you almost got.
I love that one. To be honest, it was obvious to him, no? It could only be one person in the household.
Yeah, it had to be me.
How did you react, may I ask?
I just you translated it to me, so there was a buffer period before I was hit with that information. But there was a moment where she explained what just happened, and I said, of course, I'm sorry, but I laughed too. So
Yeah, everyone.
everyone was laughing.
That's a funny cultural misunderstanding. And that's also very interesting and good to know, I guess. So for everyone who's listening right now, don't leave the seat up in Japan.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for listening and or for watching to today's podcast episode. If you like what I'm doing, please don't forget to rate this podcast with 5 stars wherever you're listening to it. And subscribe on YouTube in case you're watching on YouTube. As always, you'll find all the links in the side note of the podcast episode, as well as in the description of the video. And if you would like to be my guest, just fill in the form is also linked below. And maybe we're going to sit together someday and you're going to tell your story. Please take care wherever you are right now. Have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening, and see you soon. Bye.